Gates of Boletaria, or Stage 1-1, as most Demon Souls players call it. It's a fairly simple area. It's filled with kind of weak enemies, some throwing fire bombs at you. Dragons, of course, dragons. Always dragons. But it's a fairly simple area. It's unique in that you can't level up before you start tackling it, so you'll have to kind of be a bit careful. At the very start of the stage, you'll want to turn around and run backwards and pick up some easy grass. It may save your life throughout this playthrough. As we continue forward, we'll encounter weak enemies up the steps. They're not too tough, but take them out one by one if you can. They're very easy to get overwhelmed here. Here you can also practice your parrying or backstabbing timings, anything like that. You're not comfortable with your combat yet. So we can see here there's a bunch of items beyond a block gate here. We'll go over world tendencies later in a different video, but basically you can't enter that area unless you have a full white or black world tendency. The world tendencies is something unique to Demon Souls. It wasn't really in Dark Souls or Bloodborne or anything like that. It's completely unique to Demon Souls. But it's kind of complicated to understand at first, but we'll try to make a video and get that information out there for everyone. Also be careful of these guys and their little flurry attacks. Every time they do a leaping attack at you, they'll continue with a follow-up that's a flurry that can really hurt you. We're kind of lucky we're playing the night class. Well, we don't really take that much damage. Just slowly make your way up the stairs. Try not to get overwhelmed. Just make sure that you're killing most, if not all, the enemies that you run into. The biggest noob trap in Demon Souls altogether, in my opinion, is skipping enemies. You skip enemies, they will follow you for a very long time, and they will actually mob you down later on if you're not careful. Be a bit wary right here. The little swirls in the bottom left, you don't want to fall in that hole. It's an insta-death. Right up here, there's an enemy just to your right as you enter this little broken wall corridor. I'm going to take him out and be prepared for his buddy to come up behind you. Something else new players need to look out for. Anytime you see kind of a shine, kind of like we just seen right there, it usually means there's an item around that area. So Bluepoint did an amazing job with the remaster. Just make sure you look around, and if you see anything that looks a bit shiny, go check it out. Right here, going up these stairs is kind of hectic for new players. Just be on the watch out for fire bombs and the such. You can block them, but you'll still take a little bit extra damage. And while you're in soul form, as you noticed, our health is quite low. So we'll get a slight fix to that problem pretty soon. But for now, it's kind of what we got to deal with. Just watch your health. Always keep your health above 50% if you can. And here's another area, which I think I'll show in a second. You got to be a little careful and patient here. You have two enemies with flame sticks. You have this soldier actually throwing fire bombs at you, and another soldier up top throwing fire bombs at you. So it's more or less a pincer attack. Just be careful and take your time. you see these soldiers rearing back to throw a firebomb, just make sure you kind of get out of the way of it. You can see there the amount of damage I take from it. That's on a knight character. If you're on like a mage, you'll probably get chunked a bit more there. We can see an item here. We can't really access this item yet, but as you'll see soon enough, we'll open the path to get it. Now, as you're climbing this set of stairs, just look. Yes, that's a big rock. We don't want to get hit with big rock. And there you go. Your item, a bastard sword, which is a little bit heavier than I like to play with. But if that's your playstyle, if you enjoy swinging giant, heavy swords, hey, be my guest. Go for whatever makes you comfortable. I would definitely say your very first playthrough, just pick whatever's comfortable with you. Now, at the top of these stairs, we have two choices. The path that I'm taking right now, you kind of want to be a little wary. It's a good way to snag 2,000 souls, but you can also die in about 1 to 2 hits if you're not careful. What I'm talking about is this red knight that we're about to run into. It's usually a noob trap for new players that they kind of roam in here and they think, okay, I'm just gonna explore every nook and cranny. Well, this guy's your huckleberry. You don't want to mess with him. He's not the most difficult, but he can sneak in a shot or two, and that's all it really takes. He's quite beefy. You just want to focus on basically keeping your shield up, especially if you have 100% physical damage reduction shield. Keep your shield up, get in his face, dance around, go for backstab. That's the general strategy for knights. These knights also will heal, so you have to keep that in mind. Once they get around 50% or lower, they will attempt to heal. And I believe this red knight attempts to heal a few times. You can interrupt it by swinging, but you just have to look out for that animation. When you see them reach into their pocket, swing. It's kind of tough when they get... There he goes. When they get up against a wall like that, it's kind of tough to get to their back. That shield slam right there will actually knock you back if you're shielding. There he goes for another grasp. We get our swings in and get a kill. And 2,070 souls. This area right here, we will be coming back to it later. Right now, it's just a locked door. That's all we need to know. It's actually the mausoleum. So once we find a key to the mausoleum, we'll be able to access that. Now, heading back down the original path, we're going to run into a blue knight. It's much less dangerous than the red knight, as you can see here. A single parry will defeat it. If you're having trouble with it, use the same strategy we used for the red knight. Also, there's an area here you can drop down and pick up a light crossbow if you want to use crossbows. I don't think that's really a thing, but hey, whatever's fun for you. But as I was saying, yeah, with the blue knight, just get in his face with the shield and swing around and around until you reach his backside. Give him a backstab. That's about it with the blue knights. They're not too difficult. Now, as we make our way back up to where the blue knight was, we don't want to go through the fog door quite yet. We want to keep following this path, which will lead to a tower, which we will climb down and unlock our first shortcut in the game. You want to be careful when you're going down this tower. Take your time going down. If you rush through, it could actually cause a very easy death here. You can get swarmed, and these fire sword holders here, they actually hurt. As we continue down, we're going to reach this little outcrop here with 2 chains. There's actually bodies at the bottom of these chains, but we're going to want to cut these chains and drop the bodies down, and they will actually have an item for us to loot. One of the items is a jade ornament used in a quest line for Stockpile Thomas. We'll go ahead and knock that out. We end up getting a reward, a ring of a reward from Stockpile Thomas for it. It's not that important in the remake, but it's still it's for the achievement, for the trophy. Again, take your time through here. Don't rush it. These barrels, as you probably seen earlier, these barrels will explode if they hit with their weapons, so you don't want to be around that. You can blow up the barrels before they hit them. That's a thing. We're gonna pull this lever, and right here is a cling ring. Very important item. We're gonna be equipping that soon. But here are the 2 bodies. Get some aged spice, some ragged gears, and jade hair ornament. Now, this place should look familiar to you. This is the very start of the area. So, congratulations. You just unlocked your first shortcut. Now, the cling ring. The cling ring, equipping it, see that boost of health we got? That's very, very important. We definitely want that. So, we're just going to make our way back up the tower to the fog gate again. And then we'll continue our little path here. Now, as we go through the fog path, or fog door, as it's called, you'll notice an item directly to our left. Well, you just want to run up to this guardrail, press circle, boom, you'll leap right over. What we got here is a thief ring. We're not really going to use that on our class right now.
A surprise indeed. Well, now that you are here, pray thee, fend off these dreglings.
And we meet an NPC who wants us to fight these dredgelings. Do not do what I do here. Take your time. Probably funnel them through the doorway back there. Don't get caught in a corner. This is very dumb of me. I was just kind of going through it. Also, again, there are fire barrels around here. If you let one of the flame swords hit that, it could mean death for you. Once you kill them, our friend hops off like he did something.
My thanks for your brave rescue. I am Ostrava of Boletaria. Accept this as a
And he gives us a useless item. But that is Ostrava. We will be continuing to save him all throughout Boletaria. Here these 2 doors open up. Soldiers jump out. One attacks Ostrava, one attacks you. Make sure you don't hit Ostrava here. You can actually accidentally hit him. Just try to be careful. You can hit him a few times before I think he may aggro you. I'm not sure. Fun side note. Right here where I just rolled through that table, if you're playing on Fractured mode, which is a new mode to Demon Souls Remastered, there's actually a ceramic coin right there. And speaking of ceramic coins, I will be making a full video location of all the ceramic coins in Fractured mode eventually. Take your time and be careful here. You actually attempt, there's an attempt to get backstabbed here, kind of. Because there's an enemy to your left as soon as you go through that corridor that follows you down. Just be a little wary of them. Here you also want to equip your fire bombs. It makes this next area a bit easier. Equip your fire bombs. There's a pit of fire barrels. Throw a fire bomb there, cause an explosion, blow things up. It's always fun. Then just slowly wipe these guys out one at a time. Again, don't parry if you're not fully comfortable with it. These monsters actually do so little damage that as long as it's just one swinging at you, you'll be all right. make your way back up to the path and continue on. This is the last area where Ostrava will be kind of patrolling. Once you clear out all the enemies that you've seen up to this point, he should be safe. He doesn't wander anywhere further. Right here again, be careful that you don't get mobbed. These enemies are weak, but as you can see, if they gang up on you, it can be trouble. All right, I'm trying to learn how to parry again. Getting parry timings down is actually very frustrating and difficult when you're new. As you work your way up this tower, you'll find 2 archers and a blue knight. Just take them out as normal. Take your time with it. No need to rush. Again, with blue knights, just focus on keeping your shield up and get in their face and swing around to the back. Send this guy for a loot. Give him a bro fist. Funnily enough, that doesn't even kill him. I don't know. You would think a fall like that would kill something as weak as an archer, but no. You don't actually have to backtrack here. I'm just doing it basically for posterity. Just to showcase that there is a merchant back here. Most of the merchants in this game are kind of useless, honestly. Like the merchants that you find outside and about, they do sell glamour armor if that's your thing. If you want to play dress up in Souls, which, hey, Bluepoint did an amazing job. It looks really good now. But typically at the start of the game, you want to be saving your souls as much as you can. You don't really want to spend it to look like a soldier or something. And through this little area right here, we will find that merchant. I'll go through the list of items that he sells, and you can see the price for yourself is quite expensive.
Good day to you. Care to look over my wares? Mostly stolen, but who's telling me?
Yeah. 1,200, 1,500, and 1,000 souls each.
Take your time. I'm not going anywhere.
This room right here, you got to be very careful of. There is a soldier that throws a firebomb, sets everything on fire. As you can see, take your time. You may think that the fire is out, but as you just seen right there, even when the fire looks like it's died down, and this is actually the area where we leapt off earlier, even if you think the fire has died down, it can still hit you. Like, give it an extra second, take that time, take less damage. Now we've pretty much cleared this entire area. We can work our way up the tower and proceed on. Go through this fog door, and the next noob trap is right here. So you want to be a little careful here. As you can see, there's rocks, and there's a line of enemies. If you don't do what I'm about to do, you want to hit this and get out of the way and let the rocks do the damage. Obviously, you want to get on the side of it, because if you are in front of it and hit it, the boulders will hit you and kill you. So take your time, hit it at the right angle, and let the boulders do the work for you. These two spear guys will more than likely on your first playthrough give you a little bit of trouble. Just block them, hit them once, and then don't try to follow up, because they will get their shields up and do a shield swing, or they'll have their shield up while they stab at you. So just be a little careful with them. You can go for the backstab if you can. I usually just go for a shield block, swing, block, swing. And here we see Blue Boy and Red Boy. You can actually get these items if you lower your equipment burden. We're not going to do that right now because it's very easy to die there. Most new players should probably avoid that area until you get more and more used to dodging, but just know that it can be done. And another side note, if you go past this area and go back, the red dragon actually shows up right here, blasts the bridge, and this is your time, if you're going for those items, to run all the way back there to the blue dragon and go for the items. And of course, the fire hitbox is wider than you think. It's hot. But typically, like I said, you want the dragon to be breathing fire on the bridge, then you want to run all the way back to the blue dragon. And he has a tail swipe attack that you can roll. And there's actually a very good ring there. Especially for characters that are a bit on the heavier side, like the knight. With Cling Ring and full health, you should be able to take a full hit of the flame on the bridge. It's not that damaging. But yeah, the ring that you would actually get there is a ring that would equip or increase your equipment burden. Very, very useful early on. But I'm not going to get that ring for these tutorial videos because I want to try to keep it as understanding as I can to brand new players. That's the whole point of these videos. Pulling this lever opens up our first boss. It gives us a nice little welcoming spear. As you make your way here, you want to take a left. Kill this enemy. One should be coming up behind us, but if you're quick, you can just get through all of this and pick up your pine resin, which is very, very useful for the boss, actually. The boss is actually very weak to, well, flame attacks. Not the most difficult boss. Actually, probably ranked one of the easiest bosses in any of the Souls games. But you can be overwhelmed if you're not careful. This area here, you typically want to lead the enemies out one at a time. It's very easy to get swarmed in this little room. Just take your time through there. And again, we're going to be going downstairs in a tower. So again, I know I've said it about 5 times so far. Take your time. We run into our first little glob monsters here. You want to reach their back because your attacks on the shield obviously aren't going to do that much damage. Sometimes you can't get to the back and you just have to bludgeon them down, but it can be done. Check this little outcrop for some free souls. And as you work your way down, we will be winding down our video for 1-1 Boletaria, or Gates of Boletaria. Like I said, it's a fairly easy area. It's easy to get overwhelmed, especially if you're a brand new player, or if you haven't played it in a while. Demon Souls, I think, is one of the easier of the Soulsborne games, but it doesn't detract of the masterpiece that is Demon Souls. So we'll just pull this lever, and that will be the end of our playthrough for 1-1. We'll pick back up with the Phalanx fight on a boss guide and continue on from there. Catch you good peoples on the next one. Thanks for watching.